Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very first virtual event here for the fall semester. We are getting ready to kick off our Discover UC Merced series here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Ricky Hill, and I am the e-recruiter here at UC Merced, and I have the great honor and pleasure to be your host and moderator this evening. Tonight's event is very special. We'd like to give a very big welcome to everyone who is joining us tonight. If you are interested in becoming a Bobcat at UC Merced, you are in the right place, my friend. We are here to tell you all about UC Merced, give you a great overview for admissions, tell you all about our beautiful campus, and also give you some tips and tricks about how to apply so that you can join us here at UC Merced. Before we get started, I do have a couple of quick reminders about Zoom I'd like to offer everyone. If you need to adjust your audio settings, you can do that in the lower left corner of your screen. If at any time we're showing you something on your screen and you'd like to zoom in a bit, go ahead and click on View Options in the upper portion of your window. Lastly, and most importantly, we are fully staffed both on screen and behind the scenes tonight, and we would love to get to your questions live. So we have a very special time slot saved at the end of this hour-long presentation, and we want to get to those questions live. So make sure that you send those in to us by using the Q&A button that you see on the screen. Go ahead and send those in. We have fast fingers behind the scenes that will be getting to those throughout. However, you want to pay close attention to this jam-packed presentation. We might just get to your question before we even get a chance to answer it live at the end. But do make sure that you send those in because, as I said, we are here to get to all of your important questions here tonight. One last reminder, we are recording this session tonight, so we would like to give you that opportunity, or anyone else who may be one of your friends or family members who isn't able to join us here live, they can watch the instant replay in just about a day or two. We will make sure to give you that link in the chat box so that way you can take a look not only at this one, but all future events as well if you'd like to go back later on and revisit those. Once again, a very big welcome to you tonight. We are so excited for you to join us tonight for the Discover UC Merced, the very first kickoff event of the fall season. My name is Ricky Hill, your e-recruiter, and at this time, I would love to get things started by handing them over to my dear friend and colleague, Amanda.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited that you are here to learn more about undergraduate admissions for the first year and transfers. My name is Amanda Putnam. I am the Assistant Director of Transfer Initiatives here at UC Merced in the admissions office. I've been with UC Merced for about 2.5 years now, and I'm so excited to be here with you. And now I will hand it over to my friend and colleague, Caitlin.
Good evening, good morning, wherever you happen to be. My name is Caitlin Lopez. I am a senior admissions advisor here at UC Merced. I cover specifically the Northern Central Valley region. In addition to being staff at UC Merced, I am also a Merced native and a UC Merced alumna myself. So I am very excited to kick off this presentation and share more information with you about the campus. So if you have never had the opportunity to visit our campus before, I highly recommend that you do so. This is going to be one of our most recent shots that we have of campus. As I mentioned, I'm a Merced native. I was born and raised in this area. I remember when our campus was a golf course, which was many, many years ago. So we have built our campus from the ground up. As I mentioned, I'm also a UC Merced alumna. And so pretty much almost the entire right-hand side of your screen was dirt or parking lot when I was a student at UC Merced. In about 2020, 2021, we opened our expansion project, and that project added more teaching spaces, research spaces, housing spaces, additional student support facilities. We also added an Olympic-sized swimming pool to our campus, new transportation hub, a wellness center, new rec fields. So there's been a lot of growth on our campus, and we do strongly encourage you to come see for yourself. And then we're not done. We like to joke that UC also stands for under construction, right? And so we have a few more buildings that will be coming up in the future. We just recently broke ground on our medical education building that's slated to be open in the fall of 2026. And hopefully very soon, we're going to be breaking ground on some transfer student housing in partnership with Merced College, which is our local community college. And then we're also in development to have additional classroom spaces built. So a lot of construction planned, but come see for yourself, see what we have to offer. Now, I want you to be aware that as we are growing out our campus, sustainability is a huge piece of what UC Merced represents. And we really do believe that we are a driving force for a sustainable future. We are the only campus, last I checked, that has 100% of our buildings certified by an organization known as LEEDs. So if you're not familiar, LEEDs stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. They are essentially the people that make sure that as you are building your campus or renovating or retrofitting anything, that your campus is meeting sustainability standards. 100% of our buildings meet sustainability standards. So it is going to be a huge part of your education, also at UC Merced. If you are considering any sort of sustainability, environmental engineering, environmental science, you absolutely want to be looking at our campus and the incredible research that our department is doing. As I mentioned, some incredible things coming out of our campus. If you're not familiar, UC Merced is only 20 years old. And the fact that we are only 20 years old and we are already ranked among the top 20 best universities in the nation, it's pretty impressive. It just goes to show that our students, our staff, and our faculty are doing some incredible work, and we want you to be part of that. Another notable ranking that I do want to share is we are consistently ranked #1 for what we call social mobility. So if you're not familiar with social mobility, it is your ability to move from one social class to another. So improving your financial standings. And again, UC Merced is ranked #1 in social mobility. Now, if you aren't familiar with Merced and where we're located, we are almost the exact center of the state of California, and that is going to provide you with a ton of opportunity to be able to explore the state. If you want to go to the beach, 2 hours. You want to go to the snow, 2 hours. Yosemite National Park, guess what? There's a free bus. Less than 2 hours from campus. San Francisco, Yosemite National Park, Santa Cruz, all within 2 hours of our campus community. And guess what? Our community is affordable to live in. Cost of living is lower. We have very limited traffic, so you can actually afford to go out and explore these places. So some of the reasons why students choose to attend UC Merced are definitely going to come out tonight later as we get into our student panel. But we do want to share, best thing for you to do is come visit our campus and see for yourself, because you will recognize just what an accepting and friendly campus we have. We have a lot of support services that we will touch briefly on during this presentation a little bit later. And then very soon I'm going to touch on some academic programs. And then we hope that our students will be able to touch on the clubs and organizations and daily events that they're a part of on our campus during the student panel portion. So we have an incredibly diverse campus here at UC Merced. Our latest ethnic distribution has Hispanic students being the largest at about 54% of our campus community. And while the majority of our students do come from the state of California, currently they are coming from all over the state. Currently, it's almost a 30-30-40 split in the state of California. So about 30% is coming from Northern California. Just under 30% is coming from Central California, and the largest portion is coming from Southern California at about 40%. We currently have just over 9,000 total students on our campus, and 65% of our students are the first in their family to go to college. And we really want you to consider living on campus while you attend UC Merced. While living on campus is not required, it is highly recommended. Research does show that students that live on campus for at least 1 year tend to be more engaged in the campus community. They are also more likely to get better grades. And ultimately, we want to see you be successful and support in setting you up for success. So highly recommend living on campus. Something to note about our campus community is we do have a housing guarantee. So although it is not required, You are guaranteed housing as a first-year student for 2 years, and as a transfer student, you are guaranteed 1 year of housing. So just make sure that you do fill out your housing paperwork on time when you've been admitted. We will provide you with updated information about that when it is time to fill out those housing applications. So again, definitely consider and explore those housing opportunities by scanning that QR code. And we absolutely have to talk about academic opportunities, right? Because you're going to college to get a degree. So at UC Merced, our majors are separated by school. We have the School of Engineering, the School of Natural Sciences, and the School of Social Sciences, Humanities, and Arts. Some of the most popular majors on our campus include things like biological sciences, computer science and engineering, management and business economics, psychology, and public health. Probably the #1 most popular major on campus for any student applying at the first year level is undeclared. And so I don't want any student that is unsure about their major to stress. The benefit of our campus, like I said, we have a very significant first generation population, and we know choosing a major can be difficult, and we're going to support you through that process. And to ease your mind, I changed my major 5 times freshman year, first semester, and still managed to graduate in 4 years. So it absolutely is possible. As you start taking classes, you're going to figure out what you're most interested in. And the benefit that we have here at UC Merced is none of our majors are technically considered impacted, high demand, selective, competitive, or capped in any way. So basically, if you have a major that's impacted, that means that there are more students interested in that major than there's space available in that program. We have not hit that point yet. So you don't have to try to apply to a major that you aren't interested just to get admitted to the campus. Please definitely apply to what you're most interested in. You probably see tons of new programs on our campus. On the UC application itself, we probably added about 15 total new majors. Some of them are brand new majors on our campus. Some of them are emphases within majors. So definitely keep an eye out. Some of the newest programs that I do want to highlight this evening include our aerospace engineering program. We also have what we're calling MIST, which is Management of Innovation, Sustainability, and Technology. We have added biochemistry. We have also added a Bachelor of Arts in biological science. And you might be asking yourself, well, what is the difference between a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts within biological science? And the main difference is organic chemistry. And if you are a bio major, if you're a transfer student, you absolutely understand what I'm saying by the differences organic chemistry. If not, just know that BS means more math and science, BA, less math and science. Okay. And then another major that I want to highlight, ecology, evolution, and conservation biology, was previously an emphasis within our biological science department. It is now its own major. And then we also have communication and media, which focuses more so on media production. And then last, but certainly not least, we have our science, technology, and ethics major that is brand new for our campus. Next slide, please. And then I also need to mention this program. This is the San Joaquin Valley Prime Plus BS to MD pathway. It is a mouthful. It is an 8-year program. Within those 8 years, you will spend 4 years at UC Merced earning a bachelor's degree either in biological science, bioengineering, chemistry, or public health. Then you have guaranteed admission to UCSF Fresno, where you will earn your medical degree. Something to note about this program is, to be competitive, you must be a San Joaquin Valley-based high school student. All the counties that we do consider San Joaquin Valley are listed on our website, so please scan the QR code on your screen to visit our San Joaquin Valley Prime Plus Pathway website to find out more information, not only about the program, but about admission requirements as well. And then we also want to encourage you, think about what kind of learning you can be doing outside of the classroom. And one of the #1 ways students learn outside the classroom is study abroad. UC Merced does offer study abroad programs, just like all of our sister campuses. You actually travel with your sister campuses in the UC system. Two biggest reasons why students typically share with us that they're not so sure about study abroad is, number one, they think it's not an affordable option for them. But something to keep in mind is your financial aid does travel with you, and there are often scholarships available for students only when they're studying abroad. So we have had some instances where study abroad is more affordable. Another reason that I often hear from students is, well, I don't speak the language of the country that I really want to visit. Know that most study abroad programs, the curriculum is actually in English. And if it is not in English, there's a very clear requirement that will tell you, you must satisfy this language requirement in order to apply. And then as a University of California campus, research is 100% at our core. We are currently #1 in the UC system for the percentage of our undergraduate student population that is able to participate in research and special projects on our campus. And now I want to highlight just a couple of faculty and the research that they're doing on our campus. So first, we have Professor Sarah Kurtz. And Dr. Kurtz's research focuses on identifying pathways to a world run by clean energy at a lower cost. And then next, we have Professor Matthew Zadowski, and I greatly apologize to him if I said his name incorrectly. But Professor Matt, he examines research on social psychological processes and essentially how do we respond to stress and how extended stress responses affect us. And then lastly, we have to highlight Professor Sora Kim. So Professor Kim's research interests include paleoecology, which is the study of ecology and fossil animals and plants. She also does research on climate change, environmental reconstruction, excuse me. She has also recently studied with other universities, specifically on megalodon. And if you're not familiar, the megalodon is the biggest shark in the world that roamed oceans up to 23 million to 3.6 billion years ago. And she was just featured on Discovery Channel's Shark Week for Jaws versus the Meg this past summer. So highly recommend, if you haven't caught our faculty in that episode of Shark Week, definitely do so, because, you know, she's really making waves for our campus. You know, and after I said that terrible joke at this time, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to my colleague, Amanda Putnam, and she's going to share more about how you can prepare for both the future and meeting admissions requirements for UC Merced.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. I laughed, so I always laugh at that joke. But yes, we want to make sure that you're prepared for the future. We are not just interested in your academics now, we're interested in helping you with that social mobility that we were talking about earlier. And so one of the things that I like to talk about is career preparation and our Student Career Center. So students here at UC Merced have the opportunity to conduct an assessment, design a strategy, and begin to implement a professional development plan. Part of that program can be taking a career assessment and pinpointing your passion. So what are you interested in? And because of those interests, what are you going to be good at as a career? Helping you with your career path. So what do you want to do? What is your major going to open up for you as far as careers? Helping you with that professional development, becoming a better professional, and then career preparation. So giving you some individualized coaching, mock interviews, tests, access to on and off campus job postings. And then they have a ton of workshops and events. So like cover letter and resume assistance. They'll give you information session. They'll take you on trips to businesses in the Silicon Valley, in Los Angeles, San Francisco. And then they'll just help you network with other professionals. Networking is really important when opening up job opportunities, so they'll make sure that you have access to that. In addition to helping you prepare for your career, we want to make sure that we are empowering you to be the best that you can be here at UC Merced while you are here on campus. And so part of that is student support services. Because I'm part of the transfer team, I always mention the Transfer Returning and Veterans Center. That is a center that will be a lounge space for you as a transfer student, and they have workshops and events every year and help get you connected with other transfer students. We also have our Fiat Lux Scholars Program, which is a 4-year invitation-only program for income-eligible first-generation undergraduate scholars here at UC Merced. We also believe that students should not go hungry. And so we have our Bobcat Pantry, which will give you access to nutritious and healthy food for you during your time here. And we also make sure that you have access to peer mentorship and our study center if you need some help with some of our classes. And we have our guardian scholars, and then we have our CAPS care, our health services, and then our accessibility services as well, just to give you that well-rounded support while you're here. All right, so let's talk about admissions, and we will briefly touch on financial aid. So for first years, these are going to be your admission requirements. We require a minimum of 15 year-long high school courses, which are called A to G courses. You might have heard that term before, and that's simply what it means. So it's those 15-year-long high school courses. You can see here the list of what we require and what we recommend. And then we also require a UC calculated GPA of 3.0 or above. Or if you are a non-resident of California or the United States, then that would be a 3.4. Of course, I always have to say, start your application now at that URL link right there. Our application for fall of 2025 is currently open, and you can begin to submit in October. All right, students always ask about the selection factors. How do we decide who to admit? And so this is a good kind of ballpark percentage. So about 70% of our review is based on academic factors. So GPA, what courses you completed or you're planning to complete by the end of your years, your honors courses, your ELC, how rigorous was your senior year, and then what is your progress and advancement in academic subject areas. So that's about 70% of our review. And then the other 30% is based on those non-academic factors. So what achievements have you done? Your positive grade trends, special talents, achievements, awards, what educational preparation programs are you involved in? And then what is your aptitude to excel in academics based on your life experiences? And that goes into kind of the personal insight questions, where you can give us an insight into what has happened in your life where you might not have great academics in the beginning of your career, high school career, but then at the end you were doing amazing. So what happened in that time? And that'll give you an opportunity to tell us more about that. All right, so for transfer. So I always recommend mentioning this is that we do have early transfer opportunity pathways. What that means is that here at UC Merced, you do not have to wait as a transfer student until you have those 60 semester or 90 quarter units before you transfer in. We are actually one of just a couple UC campuses that offer an undeclared transfer option to students. And so meaning that you can transfer over undeclared as a lower division transfer. So meaning that you have less than those 60 units. We have different pathways that are listed here. We have 2 undeclared pathways, and then we have a major pathway as well. And you can learn more at that link that is there at the bottom. All right, and then if you are thinking about coming in as a 60 semester or 90 quarter unit student for transfer, then these would be our minimum junior level requirements. You have to have at least those 60 semester or 90 quarter units of transferable credit. You have to have at least a 2.4 GPA in UC transferable courses, or if you're a non-resident, that 2.8. And you have to have taken no more than 14 semester units as pass or no pass. You have to complete the 7-course pattern by the end of your spring term prior to fall enrollment. What I mean by that is for those 7-course pattern, you have to have 2 English classes, a mathematics course, and then 4 other courses and 2 other disciplines. And then you have to complete the courses required for your major. So all of that can be found at that URL that is at the bottom, or you could use, I always recommend using assist.org, and that'll line up exactly what courses are required for the major that you're interested in at your California Community College. Just to keep in mind with this is that certain majors, depending on what you want to go into, could have a higher required GPA than that 2.4. So I always recommend reaching out to the transfer advising team and schedule a meeting with us so that way we're able to go over exactly what the requirements are for the major that you're interested in. All right, so we are in tag season, which is the transfer admission guarantee. You're actually able to submit this from September 1st till the end of September, which I believe is the 30th. So we are right in the middle of that. So if you're interested in coming in for fall of 2025, then this is a great program for you. We're one of 6 participating tag campuses. And what it is a contract that specifies the courses to be completed and the GPA you must earn at a community college to be guaranteed admission to UC Merced for your major. Of course, there are conditions to admissions. You have to meet those. But some benefits for this program include early notification that your admission to UC Merced has been guaranteed, so earlier than everybody else that applies. And then you get individualized advising on major preparation, general education, and or IGETC requirements. You can find out more on the tag requirements because they do tend to be a little different from our other requirements for admission at that URL that is right there. And again, reach out to a transfer advisor if you have more specific questions. Just a reminder, you can only submit a tag for one UC campus. So I recommend picking the campus that you are most interested in to attending. And that you meet all of their requirements because you can only submit one tag for one campus. So that is something that I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of. All right, so it's time. It's time to apply for admission. So August 1, our fall admission application opened up and was available for you to look at it and to begin working on it. October 1st to December 2nd is when you can submit the application for this fall semester. And then if you are interested in spring, that deadline would be July 1st to the 31st. Just a reminder, there is just one application to apply to all 9 of our undergraduate University of California campuses, and the application fee is $80 per campus or $95 for international applicants. There are fee waivers available to students who qualified, and you'll automatically be given a chance at that fee waiver depending on your eligibility, your income eligibility, and how many people are in your family. And so you'll automatically, that's not a separate application or anything like that. The application will go ahead and see if you are eligible for that fee waiver. We always recommend, especially as a transfer student, to apply to as many UCs as you can, especially if you have that fee waiver, because it would apply to 4 campuses, just because the more campuses you apply to, the better your chances are of getting in. Of course, we want you here at UC Merced, but it is always a good practice to apply to more than one campus. You can submit your application right there at that URL. All right, so I mentioned personal insight questions earlier. Go ahead and scan that QR code for some great information about the personal insight questions, but it's a way for you to tell us more about yourself. Tell us in your own words. So you'll have 8 questions to choose from. For transfer students, you will need to respond for both first year and transfer students. You'll have to respond to 4 of the 8 questions. But for transfer students, you'll have 1 question that is required, and then you'll be able to choose 3 questions from the remaining 7. Each response is limited to 350 words, and you are not required to use all those 350 words. Which questions you choose to answer is entirely up to you, but you should select questions that are most relevant to your experience and that best reflect your individual circumstances. These questions are simply about getting to know you better, your life experiences, your interests, your ambitions, your aspirations. So essentially, it's just a way for you to be open, be reflective, and tell us about yourself and your interests in your individual voice. It doesn't need to be like an essay. It's not an essay. So we don't need you to use like big, flowery words or have 3 paragraphs or have a beginning and an introduction and an end or conclusion. It really is just an informal space to be able to tell us what you couldn't tell us on the rest of the application. It helps provide context for the rest of your application, and it's just one part we consider when making our admissions decision. There are no questions that are better than other questions when answering this. I get asked that a lot from students, and so it really is just up to you of what questions you think would help us get to know more about you. All right, so there is going to be a financial aid webinar. And so I really recommend that you look at our events page and sign up for that financial aid webinar, because that is where they will get into the nitty-gritty of financial aid. We will have financial aid experts there to give you more information about it. But this is just a brief slide to let you know that you can afford UC Merced. About 85% of our students receive financial aid, and the average annual gift aid is about $23,000. And that was based on the 2023 and 2024 academic year. Of course, make sure you meet those dates and deadlines. So you have to apply for admission by December 2nd, and then make sure that you start your FAFSA or your California Dream Act application beginning December 1. And then you have to submit it by March 2nd. You also have to submit the Cal Grant GPA verification form by March 2nd as well. And then make sure that you complete and return any documents that are requested by our financial aid office by June 1st. All right, so at this point, we're going to talk about next steps for you. And I am going to hand it over to my friend and colleague, Ricky.
Thank you so much, Amanda and Caitlin, for that fantastic presentation. Didn't we promise you at the start it would be jam-packed with so much great info? I do see some questions coming in though, and we will be getting to those here in just another quick second. Let me first just share a little bit more info. So definitely grab your smartphone. You probably have been noticing throughout the presentation, we do have those handy dandy QR codes that you can be scanning along the way. Here's another one for you. But also don't limit yourself just to the QR code. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this slide, because you will also notice that we are offering you some social media information, some websites, some phone numbers as well. As you do see on your screen, we would love to invite you to a campus tour. Now, if you have checked us out online, you have likely seen some really pretty pictures of our campus. You earlier in this presentation saw a nice aerial shot. In fact, you can kind of see one there behind me if you look over my shoulder. But what is better is if you can actually come here in person and walk around campus. You will have a tour guide with you who is a fellow Bobcat, someone who is living the life at UC Merced and walking the walk of a Bobcat. And so we have in-person tours. They are both for groups or for families, individuals. We also offer a lot of these resources online as well, in case you're not able to actually make the trek over to our campus here in the beautiful city of Merced. So make sure you do take a quick screenshot there, as well as scanning those QR codes. Of course, if you haven't checked out throughout this presentation, we actually have also been dropping quite a few links to you over in the chat box. So go ahead and take a quick pause and open that up and start clicking on some of those URLs. That way you can take a peek and bookmark those later on as soon as we wrap up here. I do have a couple more quick things to remind you. Again, we mentioned campus tours, but we also have many, many more of these virtual events just like this one. As I mentioned at the opening, tonight is our kickoff event for first year and transfer students and kind of a general admissions overview. However, we do have many more that are coming up throughout the next couple of months. We have mentioned a couple of important topics throughout tonight. One of them that is very important is financial aid. Amanda just mentioned that as well. We have things that are stretching the gamut from housing to electrical engineering. We have things about living and learning on campus at UC Merced, as well as some really important tips and tricks. We talk about the admissions application, and once you get to that point after October 1st, where you can start submitting that admission application, we jump into some helpful tips on how to complete your application. Now, if you haven't heard the term of PIQ, that is for personal insight questions, we did mention that a moment ago as well. We have an entire webinar, an entire virtual event dedicated to just that topic alone. So we definitely want to see you at some of those events. Again, there is a QR code there for you on your screen. Take a look at that website. Everything's listed there. You can get yourself registered and RSVP early to save your spot. And we will, of course, be sending you those Zoom links just like we did for this one here tonight. All right, now I have a feeling this is what everyone's been waiting for. You want to learn about what life is like on our beautiful campus. As I see folks are popping on screen with me here, this is our student panel, everyone. We have experts who are here. They are current Bobcats. They're going to share their adventure with you. So if you do have questions specifically for the student panel, feel free to click on that Q&A button and go ahead and get those sent in to us as well. And right now, let's go ahead and start with Delaney and we'll do some quick introductions.
Hi everyone, my name is Delaney Nunes and I am a fourth year here at UC Merced. I was a transfer student, so I know a lot about that. My other involvements here on campus are the UC Merced Martial Arts Club, and then my work with the Office of Admissions, going to different colleges and high schools talking about UC Merced. I'm really happy to be on here with everyone.
Hello, everyone. My name is Igosa Isabor. I am a fourth year civil engineering student. I'm originally from LA, and a lot of the things I do on campus is I'm in NSBE, which is National Society for Black Engineers. I'm also in NSA, which is the Nigerian Student Association, and as well as being an ambassador, I'm also a learning assistant, which is someone who like helps students during class. And I'll just popcorn this off to Manny.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emmanuel, but most people call me Manny. I'm a third year student here at the University of California, Merced. I study in environmental humanities and I was also raised here. So I got to stay home and try out a new major, which is really exciting. Things I'm involved in on campus is I am a part of the Kappa Sigma fraternity, where we do philanthropy and raise money for our military heroes. And I am also a part of the athletics department as well as a part of the admissions office as an ambassador.
Excellent. Well, a very big welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your evening to join us here tonight. So I'd like to go ahead and Manny, since you were just speaking, if you don't mind jumping off with this one here, why did you choose UC Merced?
I love that question. It's always one of my favorites to answer. Because I grew up here in Merced, I got to see how small of a town it was since its beginning. And I know a lot of people from the outside view us as a very small town and not always the first choice to come to. But I would love to say that Merced was my first choice only because I was able to see its development since 2005 when it first opened. My mom, she's been working here since 2002, so I got to see the campus build up from the ground up. And it's just so amazing to see that this campus is always trying to improve and has so much opportunities. I think that's what really stuck out to me. I really do believe that it takes a certain mindset to see the potential in a school, and the potential our school has to offer is just extraordinary. So just seeing that, that's why I decided to choose to stay home, because I just know how much I could do here on this campus.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Do any of our other panelists, do you guys want to add in anything that may be a little bit different as to why you chose UC Merced?
I mean, I can just jump in. I chose UC Merced mainly due to its location. I was once again in Central Valley, born and raised. I live about an hour away from Merced. And I love the Central Valley. It's a lot different than like your typical cities I know a lot of people want to go to. But the ability to just be in kind of like a quiet setting, and it almost has like small town type vibes. Um, and being around that is really nice. Not to mention, like Manny was saying, like we're a new UC. Our class sizes are smaller. I've had so many great interactions with teachers on campus, and you can talk to any student. So many teachers know us all by name. Just the community here in Merced was absolutely amazing and just drew me in.
Fantastic. So would you like to add why you chose UC Merced?
For sure. Well, to keep it real, Merced was the only UC that accepted me, but I was really glad that I decided to come here. There are so many opportunities career-wise on campus. I have never like seen, because we're so small, it's easier to connect with your professors and other staff and faculty, which means that it's easier for you to get into little programs like UROC, for example, and other like research things as well. And I personally, I'm like I said, I'm from LA, so really busy city. So coming to Merced, it was more like quiet, more like I was able to focus more, and I really need like a place to sit down and focus, especially for school. So like there were just so many things like that made me want to come here.
Excellent. And let's go ahead and stick with you. I know you have some interest in engineering. Would you like to answer that question that's coming in about what the engineering classes are like and anything else that you'd like to share?
Absolutely. So since I'm a fourth year, I've like basically done so many civil engineering classes already. And I'm not going to lie, some of them are a bit difficult. They do take a lot more than just and just going to class and attending lecture. Like you do need to do the homework, you do need to talk to faculty, go to office hours and stuff like that. So you have to put a lot more effort into your classes. The most difficult engineering class I have done so far was fluid mechanics. And that was just like, it was kind of a little bit of a headache, not gonna lie. But I was able to go through it because I went to office hours. Had study groups with my friends and other students taking the class as well. And I was just overall able to like create a little community that we all were able to focus and work on the class and work on like homework assignments and quizzes and things like that together.
Thank you so much for that special insight. So the next question that's coming in, this is open to anyone. So whoever is the quickest at opening up your microphone, go ahead and share your experience about during your first year, what did your weekends look like? How did you fill up that extra time?
So for first like weekends on campus, right? I feel like there are definitely going to be some growing pains. Like I'm not going to lie, you're not going to come to campus and all of a sudden be like the most popular kid around. It does take some work. But starting to look for different clubs was really helpful in terms of just that first week, the first 2 weeks, getting involved on campus because then you make friends. And then once you make friends, you do have stuff to do on the weekends. I know one of my favorite things to do, it sounds so mundane, is just go to Target and hang out, like get a nice little drink, sweet treat, walk around all the aisles looking for stuff. Going downtown to some of our like local like food chains, like Little Oven Pizza or Pretty Good Burger. There are night markets on weekends. So, grab a couple friends, take the bus downtown, go to like night markets where it's a bunch of thrift stores, a bunch of just local, small owned businesses. There's a bunch of stuff to do on weekends. And as long as you look for it and you find it, you will have things to do. Your weekends will be filled.
I agree with Delaney. I definitely do believe there is, even though it's a small town, there's a lot that you can do, especially if you find the right group of friends. First, start by just getting involved in campus life. It is a small school, but there is so much clubs. There's so many different organizations that just can get you involved with meeting the people that you actually want to be around with during your college career. With that, one of my favorite things to do is, go to Sprouts, get a sandwich. It's a new like farmers market that opened up. I just get snacks even or go on a picnic at the lake. I think the weather here, especially in the evening, is super nice. So just being outdoors during the weekend is a great way to de-stress from school.
Yeah, as Delaney said, like I personally don't have a car, so I use the bus to get everywhere. And going to Target on the weekends with your friends is like peak, truly. Especially, going there, getting a little Starbucks drink, walking around, buying things you don't need for your dorm. It's like it's so much fun. I also take the bus downtown and like watch a movie. Movie prices are not like too expensive at all. So doing that with your friends over the weekend is fine as well. There's like a little farmers market they have sometimes on like Saturday mornings, and I like to go there to get like nice and cheap fresh produce. And there's just so much to do here in Merced as well. That we also have Yosemite. Sometimes like Yosemite is literally like in our backyard. Like I would walk from my dorm to Yosemite Lake all the time and just like see the goose there, look at the water, walk around. There's just so much to do here.
And I just want to kind of jump back in. I'm so sorry. We're talking a lot about stuff off campus around Merced, but there is also a lot of events on campus too. We have our campus activity board, that hosts different things like Cowtopia, Treats and Beach, which are kind of like concerts on campus. As well as like we have some movie nights, we have guest speakers. The campus definitely makes sure that there are a lot of things to do for students who maybe don't want to go into town, but just to keep us active, keep us involved in our community.
Thank you so much, Delaney, for mentioning that as well, because yes, we are a huge community just on campus alone, but we do have all those extracurriculars that are just a little either walk away or a jaunt on the bus. And Yosemite absolutely is in our backyard. There is a reason that we are called here in Merced the gateway to Yosemite, and that a lot of our buildings and dorms and residence halls have names that resemble those of Half Dome. Has anyone heard of Half Dome? That is in Yosemite. That's one of our residence halls here on campus. So speaking of residence halls, can one of you please talk a little bit about what it's like to live on campus in one of those res halls?
Absolutely, I can take this question. So I have lived on campus all my life, like all like the time I've been here in UC Merced, I have been an on-campus girly. Freshman year, I lived in Granite Pass, and it was really nice having like like community. So basically, our whole floor had like a group chat on Teams, and like we would always like have like set up things together and be able to like it's usually like the first group of friends you get, but I was in a double my first semester, so that means it was me and another friend was rooming with me. I didn't know my first roommate, but she became like my first friend on campus, and we like to go to like the pavilion together and eat and stuff like that. But the dorms are like really spacious. You have like a bed, you have a desk, you have closet space and drawers and stuff, and it's like really safe on campus as well. They have like we have our own police officers going around campus as well, and we have like these blue light things like post on campus where you can hit them and stay there if you feel unsafe or you need a police officer to come with you, just to check on you or walk you somewhere or back to your place or what anything like that. But living on campus has been the best thing for me, especially when I have morning classes and I need to be there really quickly. Like I can just hop out of bed, grab my little scooter, and head over to my class like so simply. No like issues about like parking or like getting here or traffic. It's just everything's on campus. And then there's also the student life as well, and clubs and stuff. So if you don't feel like coming back to your dorm, you can always go to like the you go out to the pavilion or the dining center to eat, or you can go to clubs with your friends, like the different clubs associations on campus as well. But overall, I like really enjoy living on campus, and I like to live with my friends. So yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah, living on campus can be so much fun and also convenient because as some of the things that you mentioned in our newer residence halls and dorms, upstairs would be the rooms and downstairs would be any type of student service or club, sometimes classrooms. So you are just a stone's throw away. So you can roll out of bed, pop on a hat, walk to your class, maybe get some lunch, go back up, take a nap, read a book. You're really close by, so it's not too far away. All right, so the next question I'd like to toss out to everyone. If you could only pick just one top resource that you have been able to take advantage of since you've been at UC Merced, are you able to narrow that down to just one?
I love the TRV Center, or Transfer Returning Veteran Center. I will talk about that for as long as someone will let me. It is essentially a center for all of our transfer returning veteran students. They host a lot of different games like bingo, trivia night. I think they host karaoke sometimes. They offer free printing. They give out Scantrons. They give you, advice if you need it. And right off of that TRV Center is the commuter lounge. I kind of consider them one and the same, to be honest, which is essentially just a wide open space full of couches, chairs, desks, for commuter students to come and hang out, because sometimes you do have a long gap between classes. A lot of times I have like 2 or 3 hours and I don't want to go home in that time. And so being able to have a lounge that is just like for us, and it's not exclusive, but it's mainly for that community, is really great. Along with, they also have a professional photo booth. So if you need photos for LinkedIn, for any other professional setting, that is the place to go. It has such amazing resources for all of our students, and I love that center.
I personally love the Bobcat Pantry. Oh my goodness. Fresh produce, milk, eggs, tofu, butter, anything, they have it. Like I said, I live on campus, so like there are kitchens, and sometimes like I don't want to go to the pavilion or the dining center. I want to make something myself. So when I sign up, you get to sign up to for the Bobcat Pantry. We get to go once a week. Online, there's a link that you can sign up for. And essentially, you go there, they have fresh produce, they have dairy products, they have health and hygiene products, beans, rice, pasta, all that good stuff that you can get for free because you're a student. And you can take them back with you and cook something really nice. I literally just went and had my appointment earlier today, and I was able to get some green pepper, a dozen eggs, some milk, some yogurt, blueberries. So like I'm like eating good for sure.
And as we all know, eating is a great thing for students to do, right? You need that special brain food, especially during finals and midterms. All right, so we do have a couple minutes left here. So what I'd like to toss into now or go into would be Greek life. Do we have anyone with experience about Greek life? Manny, I think that might be you.
Yes, so I am in the Kappa Sigma fraternity here on campus. We have a lot more fraternities. We have social fraternities, which is the one that I am currently involved in. Social fraternities focus on social connections, but also the professional aspects of it as well. With professionalism, we also have professional fraternities. They are mostly co-ed, and some of them are revolving around specific majors, for example, business or pre-med, different things like that. And we also have social sororities as well. I feel like all of the Greek life on campus really unites a lot of us that have different interests, and it allows you to meet a whole new set of people. With Greek life, like I was mentioning earlier, we also focus on specific philanthropies. That could be your choice as into which organization you choose. Philanthropies are basically fundraisers where you support a cause. Like I mentioned earlier, the philanthropy that my organization is a part of is the Military Heroes Campaign. We focus on raising money for our military heroes and supporting different programs that also do the same. This school year, I have the pleasure to be the philanthropy chairperson, so I'm in charge of doing those events, and I think it's opened me up to so many new different perspectives and career pathways that I could choose in my life. Um, but biggest takeaway that I have from Greek life right now is just the networking it has on campus. It is a small school, but you get to meet so many new people, and so many different people are involved in so many different spaces on our campus. I would love to say that one of my brothers was a part of the admissions program and got me into this position, which is just a great highlight to have. So networking, meeting new people, and becoming a part of a cause is the main highlights of Greek life.
Thank you so much, Manny, for that very special insight, as only you can share. So we do have a couple more quick questions coming in. Now, we haven't talked too much about professors and student relationship and how that kind of looks. I know we have a pretty small student to professor ratio so that you all get to really know your professors. Can you touch a bit on what that experience has been like for you?
I think I can start off on this one. I know I'm an English major, and a lot of times in the English department, you have overlap between teachers who teach large lecture courses and then your smaller seminar courses. I've had the same teacher, I think, like 3 times in 1 year. And so making those connections, I mean, it was so funny because I think I had him for like a Monday, Wednesday, and a Tuesday, Thursday class. Like every day I was like, see you tomorrow, see you tomorrow. And so I really got to know him. He actually gave me insight onto some things in our local community, like Sierra Repertory Theater. If anyone is into theater, musicals, plays, we have, well, when we have Playhouse Merced, here in Merced, we also have a huge theater, Sierra Repertory Theater, that's doing Into the Woods this October, if anyone's interested. And so you kind of make friends with your professors, you learn different things about them, and just make those connections. That's really great.
I would have to agree. As of recently, I just changed into my major into environmental humanities, and with that, we have an intro course. I got to meet my professor, and she's in charge of everything that has to do with my major. And it's so amazing to know that she already knows me by my nickname, Manny. I think that was a very personal thing to me, and it made me feel really welcomed in my own space. Not only that, I also have some experience with other professors. For example, internships are a very big part of your educational career as well as research. And a lot of professors not only remember you by name, but will remember your work ethic and will reach out to you, seeing if you're interested in those opportunities, or they could even help you with, for example, letters of recommendation and other sorts of things like that. So it's just a great experience to be having such an intimate relationship with students and faculty and staff.
Yeah, when I was a freshman, civil engineering was like a brand new major. So a lot of my classes have been super small and I've gotten to get like know my professors really, really well. Especially my classmates as well. Like we're able to come together and bond and attend office hours. Office hours have been like the best thing that I think exists. But so I would go to my professor's office hours all the time and we would talk about things regarding like either the homework or upcoming quiz or even like career wise or internships, like future things that I can do with my major. And so because like the classes were so small and like you were able to like speak with faculty and like know your professors and like they got to know you and who you are as a person and your personality as well. And it just makes like getting like it just makes the school like such an amazing like place to be because you're able to create those bonds and relationships.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much for that. We have just about a minute and a half or so left of our event. So in a sentence, let's try to condense it all down in the best words that you can choose. In a sentence, what would you say is the best part of being a Bobcat at UC Merced?
I can start. I think the best part of being a Bobcat here at UC Merced is just being a part of a community of students that are endeavors and pioneers.
I'd have to agree with Manny. I love being a part of like research and furthering like science and figuring out what I can do to help the world more.
I mean, agreed, like we already said, the community. I love the community, the student life, the professors, everyone.
Fantastic answers to everyone. Thank you three so much for joining us. As I said, having a student panel is so special because you all can share things that as long as any of us career staff have been here, we have not experienced necessarily what you have. So thank you so much for taking time out and joining us tonight with this very special population of prospective Bobcats, people that are just like you were at one point, and now they might be like you next year when they do start here after they apply to UC Merced and go through that admissions process. We do have a couple of quick reminders here. I want to make sure that everyone pops open that chat box to make sure that you are clicking on all of those links. That way you can open those up and get yourself scheduled for a future campus tour. We also have, as I mentioned before, a ton of virtual events coming up over the next couple of months, all part of Discover UC Merced, this virtual series that kicked off this evening. So there is a link there to the events page so you can get yourself registered and save those links. And so also we just want to make sure that you have everything that you need in order to reach out to us as well. So if you are interested in meeting with an academic advisor in one of the programs that we spoke about tonight, or just get general admissions information, please go ahead and click on that link that will take you over to an admissions page so that you can schedule an appointment and ask these questions that you may have, as well as joining us on all these future events, because you do have that Q&A opportunity as well. One last link that I'm going to drop in for you is for a YouTube series that we began earlier this summer. It is called Bobcat Life, and we have a couple of videos there that give you a little bit of a sneak peek into some of our dorms. So if you are curious about what these rooms look like in the residence halls, go ahead and hop on over there and take a peek at some of those videos that we have there for you. And stay tuned and subscribe to that YouTube channel for future upcoming releases. Once again, a big thank you for everyone taking time out of your evening tonight to join us. This has been so much fun. We hope to see you again very soon. My name is Ricky Hill, your e-recruiter. You will definitely see me here again, as well as all of these other smiling faces. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you soon.